All right, everyone. How's it going today? My name is Casey Harmon, and I am the Work Readiness Instructor for LWIA Region 41. And so today I'm going to be bringing you the first in a series of Career Smart presentations. And basically, Career Smart is a program that's designed to help give you some what we call soft skills, some things that will help make you successful once you find a job and help you keep the job that you find. And the first thing we're going to talk about today, the first Career Smart presentation we're going to do is one on the importance of attitude. And I want to talk to everyone today about good attitude versus bad attitude versus neutral attitude. I want to talk to you and just give you some tips and give you some guides on how to successfully navigate stressful situations at work and at home in order to maintain the best possible attitude that you can. Because, as you've probably heard before, attitude is everything. And an attitude is going to define how you go into any situation. And in situations that may seem impossible, or the people have told you that are impossible, you've got to have the right attitude. The right attitude will help you navigate an impossible situation. Because as Muhammad Ali said here, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. You may have people in your life that have told you, hey, you can't graduate, you can't go to college, that's impossible. You can't get a good job, that's impossible. Look at where you are, look at where you came from, that's impossible. Well, I'm telling you that with the right attitude, impossible becomes possible. Impossible becomes, as it says here, potential. So we're going to talk about today the importance of how to develop, how to maintain a good attitude, and how to avoid falling into the trap of bad attitude and the things that come along with that. So, what is attitude? Let's talk about that first, right? Because if we're going to understand how to control our attitude, we have to first understand exactly what attitude is, and it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but an attitude is defined as the manner, disposition, or feeling about a person, event, or thing. So right now, some of you may have the attitude of, I don't understand why I have to do this, and so I'm feeling a little confused, or I'm feeling maybe a little negative that, all I want to do is, get some money to go to school or get some work experience. Why do I have to listen to this guy that I've never met talk to me about my attitude? And that's perfectly natural, but hopefully by the end of this, I'm going to have your attitude changed, if that is indeed your attitude. Hopefully, most of you all are eager and ready to learn some useful information. So there's three components of every attitude. There's what you know, think, or believe about the person or situation. So right now, y'all don't have much to go on. I don't know what you think about me. Hopefully, by the end of the presentation, you'll have a positive attitude about me, about your situation. We talked about it. Well, why do I have to do this? And again, I hope that's not your attitude. Second component, the emotions you have towards the person or the situation. Well, my emotion is that I'm upset that I've got to sit through this, or my emotion is, hey, I'm glad that someone's taken the time to try and reach out and give me some life tips. Whatever. Hopefully, again, your attitude is more of the positive. And then also your actions with the person or situation. Hopefully, your action is, hey, I'm going to keep listening because this guy sounds like he might know what he's talking about, and I hope to get some information. And some of your actions might be, well, I'm not going to listen anymore. I'm going to turn this off. And I hope that that's not the case, all right? Because I promise everything that I'm going to teach you here today, everything I'm going to talk to you about, it has the potential to completely sort of change your life. It has the potential to allow you to see things in a whole different way. So I hope that you all are are ready to go, ready to get on board, and ready to come with me as we sort of talk about some really important stuff. So I just wanted to remind you, ability is what you're capable of doing, motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. Okay? Because you can be great at what you do and you could be motivated, but if you have a terrible attitude about the situation that you're in, you're not going to perform to the best of your ability. You're not going to do what needs to be done in a positive, helpful manner. All right? So keep in mind, attitude determines how well you do it. How well you do anything. Your attitude will ultimately determine how well you do it. All right? So let's talk about what types of attitude are there. All right? And the first is a good attitude, a positive and can-do outlook. Hopefully, this is your attitude. Hopefully, you get up every day and you say, you know what? I'm going to meet the world head on. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do what needs to be done. And I'm going to be the best person that I know how to be. Hopefully that's your case. That's the case. You see the world from an optimistic standpoint. 2, there's obviously the bad attitude, the negative outlook on life. How many of y'all know people like that? Oh, that person just got a bad attitude. Oh, they got a bad attitude. Their attitude is bad. You know, everyone knows someone who has a bad attitude. They're not pleasant to be around. People with bad attitudes make life harder for everyone around them. And I hope that you choose to not have a bad attitude. I hope that you choose to have a good attitude. And then there's the neutral attitude. Goes with the flow, not particularly motivated or happy about their life, but not miserable either. These people are basically a vehicle that's stuck in the mud, and they're okay with being in the mud. Right? This is mud. It's not great, but I'll just be here. Right? The person with the neutral attitude, they are the comic, the meme with the little dog. This is fine. Dog just sitting there with a cup of coffee when there's fire all around him. That's a neutral attitude, and it's not great. I would actually prefer someone have a bad attitude than a neutral attitude, because at least with a bad attitude, I know where they stand. Right? What's so bad though about a neutral attitude? Nothing. If you're unmotivated. Okay? If you're unmotivated and you don't want to make something of yourself and you don't want to make a great life for yourself and you're not striving to be the best person that you know how to be, there is nothing wrong with a neutral attitude. Most people with a neutral attitude, they tend to stay in the same job even if it makes them unhappy or no longer meets their needs. Y'all know anybody like that? Do you know anybody who has stuck with a job that maybe is not paying them what they deserve, or it's not paying them enough to pay their bills, but they stay there because it's okay. They can scrape by. They can, it's there. It's there, and they're going to keep it, and they're not going to try to look for something better. Person with a neutral attitude, people with a neutral attitude have difficulty making new friends or starting new relationships. If you're okay with your life as it is, and you're just, that's fine, I'll just sit here in the mud, and I've got a couple of friends that, well, they like mud too, and we'll just sit around in the mud together and be neutral and just not try to improve ourselves. We'll just kind of stick around and be neutral, right? They don't learn and grow. If you're neutral, if you're a vehicle, just picture yourself as that vehicle stuck in the mud, right? And you're in neutral, and if somebody just would push you forward just a little bit, you would make some progress. If you're in a vehicle that's stuck in the mud, you put it in neutral and you get behind it and you push it and you make some progress. But if nobody's pushing you, if you're not pushing yourself, then you're never going to learn and grow. You're going to stay exactly who you are right now, forever. And you have to want more. You have to desire more. You have to realize that you have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to to do great things. And all it takes, well, not all it takes, part of what it takes is a positive attitude to get out, and so you'll get out and at least try to do positive things. If you have a neutral attitude, some people don't grab opportunities and run with them. If you got a neutral attitude and your boss comes to you at work and says, hey, I've got this great promotion, you get more hours, more money. No, I'm okay. A lot of people with neutral attitudes, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do better. So they just stay where they're comfortable, even if being comfortable is not the best choice for their life. That's in the long run, staying comfortable is detrimental. You want to challenge yourself. You want to get out and do better and be better. And you can't do that if you've got a neutral attitude. So my question to you is that how you want to describe your life? Does this look like the portrait of a successful, happy person? And I'm going to say no. And I hope that none of you want to describe your life as being neutral. Okay, I want you to be happy, and I want you to be go out there and strive for the best, and you need a good attitude to do that. So the longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. Okay. So let's talk about, how does attitude show? Whether you are aware of it or not, your attitude shows in everything you say or do. Everything. Make it reflect well on you. Attitude is evident in word choice, tone of voice, gestures, expressions, and body language. So you saw the picture pop up a second ago behind what I was just behind the previous slide. My question to you is, are you a Squidward or are you a SpongeBob? So look at this picture. Even if you have never seen an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, some of you that I'm talking to, you probably grew up with SpongeBob. You grew up watching it. Maybe some of you still watch it, and that's fine. But if you've never, ever, ever seen an episode of the show, you can look at Squidward there on the left, and you can look at SpongeBob. Which one are you? Okay. What kind of attitude does Squidward have? He's grumpy, he's cynical, he's negative. Okay. What about SpongeBob? SpongeBob was happy, he was hopeful, he was positive. SpongeBob was determined to be the best Krabby Patty maker there ever was. So no matter your job, no matter your situation, always try to be a SpongeBob. SpongeBobs get ahead. SpongeBobs get noticed. SpongeBobs get their own TV shows, right? Think some more, and if you've seen the show, SpongeBob, what did he want to do? He wanted to be the best, and he had a job that, a lot of folks might look down on. You have a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the world where if you're cooking hamburgers, or you're working a cash register, or you are doing, custodial work or things like that, people may look down on you because they say, oh, well, you're just flipping burgers, or you're just doing that. But you know what? I don't buy into that, right? I don't buy into that at all. Somebody's got to do it. And if somebody's going to do it, I want somebody doing it who does it well and who has the attitude of, you know what, I want to be the best at what I do. So even if you have a job that the world looks down on, where people say, oh, you're just that, or you're just this, it doesn't matter. That attitude, their attitude towards you and towards that job does not matter. Your attitude matters. Who do you want to be? And my hope is everybody watching this wants to be a SpongeBob, right? Because when you go you show up, and you have a good attitude, and you do what needs to be done, and you go above and beyond, and you strive to be the best Krabby Patty maker, the best janitor, the best, whatever it is, best cashier, the best whatever, or even if you have a job that people don't look down on, I want to be the best work readiness instructor that I can be. You have to have a good attitude. You have to have a positive attitude. You have to want to succeed. And if you do that and you go into that with a great attitude, you're going to be a SpongeBob every time. Nobody wants to work with a Squidward. Nobody wants to be around a Squidward. People want to be around a SpongeBob. So let's talk about word choice. Okay? So, somebody asks you to do so. Let's have a situation. Hey, someone walks up to me and says, "Hey, Casey," let's say I'm working at a convenience store. "Hey, Casey, Bob can't come in today. He's feeling sick. I know you've been here since this morning, but I need you to work a second shift." Now, I've done convenience store work. It's tiring. It's exhausting. You're on your feet a lot. And my attitude about this situation might be negative. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work an extra shift. I want to go home and relax. I want to go home and play with my dog or watch movies or whatever it is I want to do. I don't want to work the second shift. But if you have a good attitude, you think, well, hey, this is an extra 8 hours on my check. This is extra money for me. I can do things with it later. I'll have a better check. I'll be able to, go and have fun. It's not the end of the world. I've worked many extra shifts for people. I didn't die and the world didn't end, I promise. Because we're all still here. Have that positive attitude, right? Say, "Casey, I need you to work that extra shift. Bob can't come in." "Yes." "Good, great, I can." "You bet." "I'm sure I will." What are some other positive words? One of mine is absolutely. Absolutely. "Casey, can you work this extra shift?" "Absolutely. Absolutely. Not a problem." Not a problem is another one. No problem. Great. Awesome. I use the word awesome a lot. Maybe too much. "Casey, can you work this shift?" And I might be thinking, "No, I don't want to," but yeah, awesome. You know what? I'll do it. I need the money anyway, right? I'm trying to save up for a PS5. I'll put that extra money aside, or I'm trying to do whatever. I need extra money. Yeah, let me do that. Negative. I'm a negative word choice. "No, I can't do that. That's not my fault. Not my fault Bob can't make it. You're the manager. Why don't you do it? "No, I don't have time." "No way." Or expletive that. "I can't do that. I'm not going to do that." Or neutral. Maybe. "Casey, can you work that extra shift?" "I doubt it." "Casey, can you work that extra shift?" Whatever. "I'm not sure." Who knows? Right? I would rather this person, the negative person, I would rather them to this person, because I know exactly where I stand with this person, right? They're not going to do it. If I'm the manager, I'm a negative person, all right? They're not going to do it. I understand, but I'm going to remember, all right? I'm going to remember that they didn't want to do it. And people will remember. They're going to remember your actions. And they're going to remember, hey, you know what? That time I asked Casey to work that extra shift. Well, he was really cool about it, and he does it often. Well, maybe we'll put Casey up for a promotion, or maybe better hours when the time comes around. He was negative. Well, Casey was negative all the time, or neutral. I never knew what he was going to do. It comes around where They have to cut jobs, and maybe Casey's job, maybe my job is going to be the one that gets cut because I'm negative. I have the negative attitude all the time. Nobody wants to work with someone with a negative attitude. Okay? Nobody wants to work with someone that's like that. So really take that into consideration. Use your words. Your word choice matters. Okay? Tone of voice also matters. Hello. Hi. Sup. All right. Yep. Howdy. Hiya. Greetings. Yo. Right? And you can say all those in various tones of voice. You have a positive tone of voice. Upbeat, good volume, and you can hear the smile. All right? So if somebody calls our office, I'm going to give you 3 examples, okay? So if someone calls the office, this is how we answer the phone, and I want you to see if you can hear the positive tone in my voice. Thank you for calling Acadiana Workforce Solutions. This is Casey. How can I help you? Right? So that's a positive. I have a smile on my face. Hopefully you heard that through my voice. Okay? Now let's just say I've had a difficult day. The phone's been ringing off the hook. And I don't want to answer the phone. It's 4:15. I get off at 4:30. It's the last phone call of the day. I don't want to answer the phone. Thank you for calling Acadiana Workforce Solutions. This is Casey. How can I help you? Angry or whining tone. Too loud. You can hear the frustration or resistance. Hopefully, if you call here, I never answer the phone that way. And then, of course, there's neutral. Thank you for calling Acadiana Workforce Solutions. This is Casey. How can I help you? Right? Do I sound like I want to help you? A neutral voice. Maybe you didn't even hear me. I might have been too quiet. That's not usually the case with me. I'm usually pretty loud, but maybe on that day I just wasn't feeling it. You want to have a good tone of voice. You want to have a good smile on your face. You can hear the smile in someone's voice. You know when someone wants to be there. You ever gone through a drive-thru to order food, and you can tell the person on the other end doesn't want to be there? Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Can we take your order? I almost want to reach through and give them a hug. If that was something they would want. I hope you're okay, man. I hope things are all right. You can tell when someone doesn't want to be at their job. You can tell when someone is upset. So, always be that person. Do your best to be that person with a positive tone of voice, right? Let's take a look at posture, okay? Let's take a look at body language. If you remember, we can go back here real quick. Let's see. We're going to go back to Squidward real quick. Look at SpongeBob's body language versus Squidward's body language. Squidward's a frown on his face, slouched over, got his head in his hands. SpongeBob's at the wide open. His body posture is wide open, like he's giving the world a hug. Now, in this case, he's catching Krabby Patties, but he is ready to go, right? So let me speed through here again. So let's look at this body language, okay? If I'm interviewing someone for a job, and I come out, see the candidates, and I see this person. She looks unhappy. She looks like she doesn't want to be there. She looks like she is, would rather be doing anything else. Look at this person. They look like they're distracted. They look like maybe they feel like they've been waiting there a long time. They're not really paying attention. This person, they're sort of, again, kind of seems sort of out of it maybe a little bit. They're just sort of staring off into the distance, up in the sky, looking at who knows what. They don't look ready to go. But then you have this person here. She's sitting up straight. She's got great posture. Look at her posture. Her posture is straight up and down. She's not slouched. She's not, anything like that. She's got a smile on her face. She's got her resume ready, it looks like. This person over here, their resume's all folded up. This one's probably folded up as well. She doesn't even have, she doesn't have a resume, but she is ready to go, right? She is ready to be interviewed. And if I walked out and I saw these 4 people sitting here, she's definitely going to go down in my book as someone who is more likely to get hired just from the smile on her face and the great body language. Oh, okay. Something happened here to the PowerPoint. We were going to watch a video called Attitude at Your Choice, and this was in the PowerPoint when I uploaded it, but it doesn't seem to be there now. All right. So what I will do is I will copy this link and I will make it available. It's a great video. It shows the same guy getting up and getting ready and going to work. One with a great, and in one video he's got a great attitude, and the other one he doesn't. And that would have been. I'm gonna have to fix that. Well, that's okay. So I'll get that link out and I'll get it to your case managers, and maybe they can watch it with you. I apologize for that. Like I said, it was there whenever I put the PowerPoint together. I'm going to have to fix that. All right, my apologies. So let's look at some more quotes about attitude. I don't look for either youth or experience. I want intelligence and primarily motivation. I want people who are very eager to accomplish a task, who can't wait to get something done, and will always look to do it in new ways. Attitude and enthusiasm are more important than skills. You can teach skills, but you can't alter attitude. Let me talk to you about that for a second, okay? So I was in retail management for 7.5 years, okay? I managed these ancient buildings called video stores. Basically, they were like Netflix, but they had DVDs in them, and you could walk into the store and you would actually pick the thing that you wanted off the shelf. I know might be a foreign concept to some folks, but that's what I did. I worked there I did that for 7.5 years, working in that industry, and I hired a lot of people. I interviewed a lot of people, and the thing about it is I could teach people how to run a cash register. I could teach people how to put away and organize movies and do all the standard stuff that you needed to do to be able to run a video store. But what I couldn't teach was passion. What I couldn't teach was attitude about the job. So when I interviewed people, that's what I looked for, right? I wanted to see people who seemed like they were going to be excited to work there. And one of the things I would do is I would ask them to describe their favorite movie or their favorite video game to me. Talk to me about it. I want to see your passion. And if I saw that passion and I saw that attitude and I saw that desire, those are the people that I was going to hire. Those are the people that were going to help make me successful because they wanted to be there. When you go into a job interview, when you go and you talk to someone, when you are at work, have that passion, have that desire, have that good attitude. You're going to be successful. You will. It's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. This is from one of my favorite authors. It says, you get work however you get work, but people keep working in a freelance world because their work is good, because they are easy to get along with, and because they deliver the work on time. And you don't even need all 3. 2 out of 3 is fine. People will tolerate how unpleasant you are if your work is good and you deliver it on time. People will forgive the lateness of your work if it is good and they like you. You don't always have to be as good as everyone else if you're on time, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And it's that last one that I really want to focus on, right? So some of you have never worked before. Some of you may be going into a situation where you've never had a job and you don't know what's going to be expected of you, and you're going to have to learn. And there are going to be people there that are better at it than you are because you've never done it before. and that's okay. You show up on time and you have a great attitude, you're going to be okay. You're going to learn the job. And not only will you learn the job, you're going to be doing it with a great attitude, and you're going to be impressing the people that are training you with your attitude. Keep a smile on your face. Keep good body language. Use positive word choices. Make yourself someone that people want to be around, right? And you have the ability to do that. You get to decide every day before you get out of bed what kind of person you're going to be that day. Your eyes open, you're looking at the ceiling, and if you say to yourself, today I'm going to be positive. Today I'm going to be great. Today I'm going to make everyone want to be around me because of my great attitude. You're going to go out and you're going to live that life. You're going to live out that attitude. And it's a choice that you make every day. Every action you make, whether positive or negative, comes from a choice inside you. And you have to choose to want to be positive. You have to choose to have that great attitude. And if you do that, if you make that choice, you're going to be all right. So now, you might be saying, well, Casey, I don't know about all this. You know, I get angry and I get upset and I get these challenging situations and doggone it, I just don't know what to do. My emotions and they are bigger than me, and my anger is just, I can't do anything about it. And it just makes me have a bad attitude. Well, I'm here to tell you that is incorrect. All right. So what I want to talk to you about now is I want to go through and I want to show you how to outsmart your brain. All right. I want to show you how to maintain a great attitude even when things pop up that are going to challenge it. Okay. These are all great tips, and these will help you not only at work, but also in life, in your relationships. Okay? The whole world runs on relationships. Everything is just a series of relationships, whether it's you with your parents, you with your friends, you with your supervisors at work, you with teachers at school. Everything is about relationships. And a positive attitude is going to help you maintain positive relationships. But if you have trouble doing that, and sometimes it's not easy, right? Sometimes it's not. But hopefully I can give you some tips here that will help you in the long run learn how to outsmart your brain. Okay? So let's start. Large part of managing your attitude comes from managing your emotions. All right? So the first one, understand that your emotions are not bigger than you are. When we get mad, when we get sad, when we get upset, it feels like there's just this big monster grabbing a hold of our shoulders or they're in our face and they're just breathing fire and they're just, our emotions just feel like they're gigantic. I'm telling you they're not. They just feel that way. So what can we do to bring those emotions down to size? All right. First thing, know what anger and frustration feel like to you. Kind of do a self inventory here. When I get mad, what does it feel like? When I get mad, I get sad, what does my body do? Because everybody has different, their body does different things when they're angry or when they're upset, right? So for me, if I get quiet, that can be a problem, right? If I get upset, the first thing that happens to me is I immediately stop talking. I talk a lot. So if we're in the middle of a conversation and I just stop talking and walk off, just like in the middle of the conversation, that's probably an issue. There's probably something that you said that made me upset. Other times, I feel like, I clench my fists or I clench my jaw. Some people, their face gets hot, or they start sweating, or they, just everything gets tense. Some people start crying when they get angry and frustrated. Everybody's different, right? What does it feel like to you? Okay, just imagine the dashboard of a car. And that dashboard has all that information. And when you start getting angry, those warning lights start coming on. What is it? What is your warning light? What is your warning light that lets you know, hey, things are getting out of control here? Set up a time limit on how long you are willing to vent, rant, or whine. This is important, okay? Try not to take things home with you from work. And I'm not talking about physical things. I'm talking about mental things. I'm talking about problems at work. Try to leave them at work. But if you get home, you just had a bad day, and you need to whine to someone, you need to rant, you need to vent, set a time limit, okay? I had to do this at one point. I was in a position that I really liked. I was working for a place where I was able to help people, and there were two of us, and one of the positions got eliminated, and because I was the newer hire, I got let go. And I was sad, and I was angry, and I was just upset. And I said, okay. After my initial sort of shock and anger and stuff kind of dissipate a little bit, so you know what? 2 days. I'm going to feel sorry about myself for 2 days. That's how long I'm giving myself. And then I'm getting back in the swing of things. So for 2 days, I just allowed myself to be sad. I allowed myself to be mad. I talked to my friends about it. I had a great group of friends. They kind of rallied around me. And at the end of those 2 days, I said, okay, it's back to business. And I started applying for jobs again. And lo and behold, I ended up eventually applying for a job that became this job that I'm doing right now. But if I had just whined and complained and moaned and was angry for, 2-3 weeks, I might have missed that window to apply for that job, and I might not be here talking to you now. You need to set a time limit on how long you're willing to vent, rant, or whine. If you can, take a walk to cool down. If you're at work and you get 15-minute breaks, you get a situation where, you find your warning lights are going off. Like, I need to take my 15, go out back, go sit in your vehicle, go take a walk. Just cool down, remove yourself from the situation, right? Do what you have to do to get out of that situation for a minute and stop from losing your temper. What you don't want to do about it is make a social media post about it. I can't believe what's going on here at work, blah, blah, blah. If you complain about your job at work, someone may end up showing that to your boss, and you may end up losing your job. Keep it to yourself until you can talk to someone that you can trust, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But just take a walk, remove yourself from that situation. Number 5, ask for clarification before reacting. Okay? Don't let what someone says to you encourage the wrong reaction. All right? You need to stall for time by asking questions. If you need to, one of the things you can do is repeat what the other person just said. This makes sure that you understand the comment, and it gives your coworker the opportunity to clarify, right? If it's something that's upsetting, there's a method for maintaining calm. For managing your emotions. It's called the SAFE technique. Stay calm, ask questions, find out feelings, and exchange ideas for a possible solution. Okay, so this is the ask questions. This is the A in SAFE, right? Ask questions. Find out all you can about the situation that's going on before you react. Right. So then another thing you can do is reflect back and apply now. So you want to think of an instance where you've reacted well to a negative situation. Also, this is a question that will appear a lot of times on job interviews. So have this story in mind. Concentrate on the strength you showed and try to apply it to this situation. You keep your cool when all those around you are losing theirs. So I have a story about this. So I will tell you how I can reflect back and apply now. So I was working at a convenience store. And again, it's one of those jobs where people look down on you for doing it, but they don't realize how difficult it is and how challenging it is and how much work goes into it. So again, I don't ever put stock into what people say. When people say, "Oh, someone's just running a cash register, someone's just flipping hamburgers," I don't put any stock into any of that, right? Because a lot of times folks don't know what they're talking about. So in this particular situation, at this convenience store, there was a deli where obviously we would cook fresh food and frozen food, things like that. And I did not work in the deli, but sometimes I would go help when they were busy because it would get kind of out of hand if I didn't. So we made basically stuffed pistolets, which is basically bread stuffed with meat and crawfish. Yeah, it was some stuffed with beef and some stuffed with crawfish. So there was a lot of people in the store at this time, and so I was helping out. And a gentleman ordered a beef pistolet, so I gave one. And on the bags that the pistolets came in, there would be a B for beef and C for crawfish. So I gave him one marked with a B, went and rang everybody up and kind of cleared out the store a little bit. And I was like, "Oh no, the floor looks terrible, so I'm gonna go mop it." So I was leaving to go get the mop, and the guy that I had given the beef pistolet to was standing by the hallway where I would have to go to get the mop. And he looks at me, he's like, "Hey, I asked for a beef pistolet and you gave me a crawfish one." And I said, "I'm sorry, sir, that the bags were marked incorrectly." I said, I'll go trade that out for you." And he looks at me in my eyes and he says, "Nah, I'm throwing it on your floor." And he was reaching into the pistolet with his fingers and just throwing big old wet globs of cooked crawfish tails on the floor. And he just kept looking at me in the face going, "I'm throwing it on your floor. I'm throwing it on your floor. I'm throwing it on your floor." And I was mad. I was mad because you don't do that to people, right? It's just not a way to treat somebody. But I also knew that this was a customer. And maybe he had his own thing going on. And I stopped and I realized I was getting upset. And I said to him, "Well, sir, I'd be happy to trade that out for you, but if you don't want that, that's okay." And I was going to mop the floor anyway, and I went back to the closet, filled up the mop bucket where we kept the stuff, filled up the mop bucket with water, got the mop, came out, and he was gone. He was just trying to irritate me. But I didn't keep my cool. I didn't lose my cool. And so a lot of times now, if I'm getting upset at work or I'm getting upset at a situation, I could think back and say, how did I handle that situation? So think about those things. Think about those times where you've reacted well and have that story, because I guarantee you it's probably more often than not going to come up in job interviews. They're going to ask you, tell me about a time where you responded to a challenging situation. You want to apply the 10-second rule. And this seems like it's very cliched advice, but it works, okay? Be aware of how you're feeling and make sure you're not overreacting. And if you feel your temper rising up, on a phone or in a meeting or in person, count to 10 to keep from losing your cool, okay? Count to 10 and breathe. Okay. You can even breathe in, or 1 breath, 2, 3. Take a big deep breath and a big exhalation in between counts, right? What you're doing is you're giving your body time to relax. You're taking in oxygen, which is good, and it will help you sort of kind of not be as tense, okay? And whenever you're not tense and you're not as frustrated, you'll make better decisions, okay? Number 8, don't forget the power of the written word, okay? Now, you can't, generally write a journal in the middle of a work shift, but when you get home, write it out. Take a piece of paper and write out exactly what's wrong. Whatever you're feeling, write it down. You can write a poem, you can write a song, you can just scribble words out, however you want, right? But write them all down on a piece of paper. Identify those emotions, identify those things that are making you angry, and think about it. Then when you get done, rip up that paper and throw it in the trash. And again, it sounds cliche, it even sounds childish almost, but it works. There's a reason why it's on here. Write down what's annoying you. Write down how you feel. Understand it, and then get rid of it. Okay? Number 9, distract yourself and calm down. What do you do? What do you do to calm down? What do you do to relax? Okay? When you go home from work, whatever it is, maybe you listen to music, maybe you play video games, maybe you play music, maybe you draw, maybe you sleep, whatever it is, distract yourself and calm down. Shift your focus from the thing that's making you angry to the thing that you can control and to the thing that can distract you, right? Number 10, talk to someone about your frustrations. Okay, I can't stress this enough. Never, ever, ever be afraid to talk to someone about how you feel, right? Never be afraid to talk to someone about how you feel. There are people in your life that care about you. There are people in life that want you to be okay. When you are frustrated and when you are angry and you don't know how to handle it, go talk to someone. And that's a big step, because a lot of times we're taught to act like, there's a high premium on being tough and being strong and self-reliant. But you have to talk to someone about your frustrations. You have to talk to someone about your anger. Otherwise, it will live inside you and it will eat you up. You have to be able to talk to someone. Don't ever, ever, ever be afraid to go to someone and say, hey, can I bend your ear for a minute? Can I talk to you just for a minute? I've got some stuff on my mind and I just want to see, could you just listen? And it's okay to tell them, I don't need advice. I don't need anybody to fix it. I just need someone to listen. But if you do need someone to fix it, that's okay too. Hey, look, I'm not trying to handle this. Can you give me some advice? Okay, either way. You need to have somebody, and I guarantee you there's somebody in your life that cares enough about you to listen when you're talking about what is frustrating, talking about what's bothering you. Try to stay optimistic all the way, right? Try to think of the positives and the successes in your life. If you have a job and you're doing well and you've been a SpongeBob, but maybe you have a Squidward day and maybe it's just everything looks bleak and hopeless, and you just, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't even know why I'm trying. Sit down and make a list of all the good things, right? What are some good things that have happened to you? What are some things you have learned? What are the opportunities that you've had? So stay optimistic. Do your best, okay? Number 12, don't allow any emotion to stop you from taking action. And the emotion that most often stops people from taking action is fear. Fear of failure. Fear that you're going to try something new and you're going to look bad. Fear that you will fail. Okay? Feel the fear and do it anyway. All right? Taking action despite being afraid, that makes you a hero. All right? So you get upset and you feel negative at work. Rather than feeling annoyed and frustrated, transform that energy into something positive. You can move forward, okay? And if you get an opportunity to, say, advance or to learn something new, don't let the fear of failure or the fear of any of the stuff, like any stuff that we've talked about, don't let that get in your way because you don't believe that you can do it. Well, I'm telling you right now, that everybody who's listening to this call, everybody that's listening to this recording, you can do it. You have the ability to be amazing. All right? You have the ability to be amazing. You already are amazing. And now you have the ability to show everybody, not just the people that know you. You have the ability to show potential employers, current employers, how amazing you are. All right? And don't let fear stop you from being amazing. Okay? Another thing you can do to outsmart your brain, you can work out to work off your anger. Go out, play basketball, go run, go play football with somebody, go whatever exercise, lift weights, whatever it is that you do for exercise, go and do that. For me, and you wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I used to like to play basketball a lot. And one of the things that I liked about basketball is you don't need it. You can just play by yourself, right? You can just go out and just work on your shot, right? And there's something to me that was calming if I was upset about the bap, 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 that just the dribble of a basketball. The sound of the basketball going through a net. There's not many sounds that are like that. That just swish that basketball going through it. It was something that I could use to get my frustrations out. Whatever it is, go work out and release those pent-up emotions, okay? Make a strong request, all right? So a lot of us, if you want something in your life to be different, start the process of making it so now. If you feel like, hey, you've been passed over for promotion a couple of times and you're mad about it and you're upset about it and, they must hate me, they just think I'm terrible, contact those people. Let them know that you want to work on what's happening. Hey, I noticed I've been passed over for promotion a couple of times. What can I do better? What can I do to prove that I deserve this, that I deserve a promotion? What can I do to be more of a help? How can I help out better? Make that strong request. Tell them, look, I want to be promoted. So let me, what can I do to make that happen? This also worked for me in a job interview. I was applying to work for a machine shop. And I didn't know the first thing about the parts that they made there. I didn't know the first thing about using most of the tools that I was going to be using to inspect the parts. Basically, I was applying to be a quality assurance inspector to make sure everything that they made was good and met a certain standard. But regardless, there was a lot of math. Math wasn't my strong point. And I had never done a physical labor job before. I had always done retail, but I needed something, and so I went on this interview, and my boss sort of talked me. My guy that would eventually be my boss was talking to me and telling me everything, and I understood about half of what he said. And he said at the end of the interview, he says, "Okay, well, I've got people here that are applying for this job that are way more experienced than you. They have more experience. Why should I hire you, someone who has never done this before?" And I thought about it for a second. And I said, Mike, I think it was Mike, I said, "You're right." I said, "I don't have a lot of experience. but I'm willing to learn. And if you hire me, I am determined to be the best parts inspector, the best QA guy you've ever had here. That was my strong request. And I got hired on the spot. So, again, make that strong request. Sometimes people just need to know who you are. And making that strong request will show them who you are. And don't let, again, like we talked about earlier, don't let fear stop you from making that strong request. This is also very important. Let go of your anger at the end of each day. Okay? Don't take it home with you. Try to leave work at work and home at home. But if you happen to have brought something home with you, anger home with you, do your best to let it go. Okay? Because, excuse me. Because if you don't, and you take that anger home with you every day, it is going to eat you up. And it's going to live right inside your stomach, right inside the pit of your stomach. And there's a reason why I left that machine shop job after 2.5 years. And it wasn't because I hated the job. It wasn't because I hated the people. Me and my supervisor and I, we got along fine. But the gentleman who owned the company and was there every day always seemed to blame everything that went wrong on me. And he would, yell at me even after I did stuff that he told me to do. There was a lot of issues, and I could never figure out why, because I worked really hard. And I was in neutral. We talked about at the beginning, I was stuck in neutral. And I put up with it for 2.5 years. But every day, I'd show up to work and I'd see his vehicle and I'd be like, oh, God, I can't believe he's going to be here today. Oh, my goodness. And it got to the point where, I don't know if you've ever done this before or not, but I would have imaginary conversations with him on my way to work. Oh, well, he's going to be there today. Oh, well, he's going to probably tell me this. Well, I'll tell you this. And I would work out imaginary arguments between us because I had to do something to handle the anger that I knew was going to happen. I said, okay, now I know. If he tells me something, I know what I'm going to say. And then I'd get there and he'd say something and I wouldn't say, okay. I wouldn't say anything. All right, I'll go do it. And I got tired of doing that, and so I realized it wasn't going to change, that I was doing everything I could to make it okay. And so, but I didn't do it, the wrong way. A lot of times what happens is, if you don't let go of that anger at the end of each day, you're going to get mad and then you're going to blow up and you're going to quit. And you're going to quit before you have another job secured. Don't do that, right? Because then you're going to be trying to find a job. And right now in this economy, it's tough to find jobs right now. So make sure you have another one ready to go to before you remove yourself from a situation that maybe is stopping you from letting your anger go, right? So do whatever you can to keep that anger, let it go at the end of the day. Hang out with your friends, watching a movie, watching TV, playing a game, whatever it is. Let it go at the end of the day. You're going to be much happier. Number 16, recognize what ticks you off. That kind of goes back to one of the first couple ones that we talked about. Keep an eye on that dashboard. Look for your warning lights and find a positive way to diffuse the situation, right? If you know that you have a certain coworker that you don't like, that certain coworker that annoys you, try to stay away from that person. That didn't happen at the machine shop job I was telling you about, because the guy owned the company and he could go wherever he wanted. But do whatever you got to do to avoid those triggers that annoy you. Okay? Prepare yourself to stay calm. Okay? The whole goal of these soft skills trainings that I'm going to be giving is for you to to give you the skills so that you can grow into someone who can handle anything that comes your way. It's called resiliency, right? If you're before you go to work, anticipate any objections or any problems that may come up before you start your shift, before you go in, right? That way you won't get blindsided by them, right? Create a backup plan. If there's, let's say, earlier, this is a great point, and this just kind of sprung on me just a minute ago. I'm giving you this PowerPoint presentation, and I wanted to show you that video, and the video did not work. And so for a second there, I thought, oh man, everybody watching this is going to think I'm, don't know what I'm talking about. And everybody's going to think, why do I have to listen to this guy? He can't even, work his own PowerPoint. That all ran through my head while I was trying to figure out what I needed to do. I didn't have a backup plan in place. So, but now as we were, working through it, then I figured one out. So I was worried, that I was going to lose face with you all, because that video didn't show up. But, we have a plan in place now, and everything's okay. And I didn't panic, just stay calm. And you can do that too, right? It's a skill you have to practice like anything else. Number 18, wait before writing a strongly worded letter, email, or text message. Okay. Cannot stress this enough. For social media post. Okay. I know someone who got fired for a social media post. Your bosses may be looking at your social media. When you have a bad day, when you have a bad moment, and you feel like you need to write, good, go home and write, but write on a piece of paper, just like I was telling you earlier. Write out the situation and see if that helps. Figure out what emotions, figure out what's triggering those, figure out what emotions it's giving you, figure out what are triggering those emotions, and then let it go. Because once you write that strongly worded letter, email, or text message, it is out there and you cannot get it back. All right? You can't get it back. Okay. Understand your colleagues, all right? Understand the people that you work with. Understand that what their triggers are to make them angry. Understand their personalities. When you take the time to talk and get to know each other, you'll understand how to best work with each other, right? And that can prevent any unfortunate incidents, right? Now, the last one. Apologize for any emotional outbursts, okay? If you follow the rules, you follow the guide here that I've given you, hopefully you won't have any emotional outbursts, okay? But you've got to know when to say you're sorry, all right? And you don't have to have a long-winded explanation. You don't have to tell people the pressure you were under or the background of the misunderstanding or the reasons you were right. A lot of times when people apologize, it turns into them talking about why they feel they were right, okay? I reacted badly, and I'm sorry. Will demonstrate your professionalism, demonstrate your integrity, demonstrate your leadership skills, okay? Keeping a rein on your emotions while you're at work and at home and with your friends goes a long way in achieving healthier relationships and growth, okay? And no matter what, do your best not to snap, because it takes years to build up a reputation and only seconds to destroy it. You could spend a year as a SpongeBob doing great things, being amazing, being awesome. And if you have that one moment where you snap, people are going to look at you in a different light, okay? So I'm not saying you have to do all 20 of these things to outsmart your brain, but find the ones that work for you, right? Find the ones that make sense to you and do those. Because once you get a handle on your emotions, once you get a handle on that, once you get a handle on your attitude and you decide every day what kind of person you're going to be, and you decide to be a good person with a great attitude, things are going to be a lot better for you, I promise. All right? Keeping a rein on your emotions while at work goes a long way. All right? And just remember, the state of your life is nothing more than a reflection of your state of mind. And here are some other TED Talks. If you all are interested, you can Google these. I particularly enjoy this one and this one. Those are both really great. And if you get a chance, definitely check those out. And with that, and that's pretty much the end. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you've taken something from it. I hope that you have a newfound look at your attitude and how it can affect you and how it can affect your life. And I hope that you understand now how to control it a little bit and how to make those smart choices that will allow you to be as successful as I know that you can be. I know everyone here on this call has the ability to be amazing. And all you have to do is go into things with a great attitude, and you are already halfway there. Thanks again for listening, and I will be back. I will have another session recorded within the next couple of weeks, and I hope that it will be helpful to you as well. In the meantime, go out there and be happy, be safe, and be nice to one another. And I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.